An opportunity for a turnover. Caleb Spann got his hands on it, couldn't hang on.
And this is one of the big tests for a young quarterback is can you see the full picture? You mentioned number 15, Caleb Spann. Michigan was running a play action and a few deep crossers. The tight end was coming across the field. Spann passed him off and sunk underneath it. You see number 83, Zach Marshall, on the deep crosser. Spann didn't bite on it, sunk underneath it. Bryce didn't see him. It was nearly an interception.
To the outside, catch made by Samaj Morgan. Pick up some good yardage, make it 3rd and manageable.
And that right there is how you get Bryce comfortable. That's something. The perimeter blocking was not good enough for Michigan against Oklahoma. And Max Bredesen, surprisingly, he whiffed on a few blocks. That time, Bredesen was the lead blocker. Just finding a way to get Bryce easy completions early in the game to set up 3rd and manageable.
Hey, solo.
2 tight ends set for Michigan on this 3rd down and 3 opening possession of the game. Hogan Hansen in motion. And they'll throw it to Hansen wide open and a 1st down for Michigan. Good to have him back on the field.
Absolutely. Marlon Klein back on the field as well. They love both those guys and certainly felt the lack of their presence on the road at Oklahoma. Those are 2 big-time playmakers.
Going with tempo on 1st down. Pull it out of the belly. Catch made by McCulley. 1st down, Wolverines. Starting lineup for Michigan. Skill positions. Want to get Channing Goodwin going a little today, but the offensive line patchwork, Jake. 2 guards out to start this one.
El Hadi out, Brady Norton out. El Hadi is the leader up front, so have to keep an eye on the communication. But this offense will go where the offensive line takes them. We know that is the bread and butter of Sharon Moore. This time 6 offensive linemen on the field. At 77, Blake Frazier lining up at the wide tight end.
First handoff of the game, bouncing outside. Justice Haynes is wrapped up after a gain of 1. Leviah Brown on the tackle. Here's the defense for Central Michigan. They run the 3-4, but you're going to see a lot of different formations. A very veteran group in the back. But they've been tested early, too.
The strength really is the rushing defense for Central Michigan. They've been solid, top 50 in the FBS, allowing just under 100 yards per game on the ground. It's been their secondary that's been the weak point.
Play action. Sprint left across the middle. Another catch by McCulley. Down to the 29-yard line. 2nd catch of this drive from McCulley.
Well, Chip Lindsey said one of the big priorities, not just getting Bryce Underwood comfortable, but they have to find a way to get Donovan McCulley more targets. He's such a talented wide receiver. He's wearing that coveted number 1. That's why he brought him in the transfer portal. 6'5", 215 pounds. He's their go-to guy, and they need to find a way to feed him like a go-to guy.
We've seen early, Jake, an emphasis on getting Underwood out of the pocket, using those legs.
In clean pictures, right? The ball absolutely jumps out of his hand when it's a clean picture. Started with that 3rd down, 3rd and 4, where he hit Hogan Hansen. It was just a very clean and easy picture. Took off half the field. It was a half-field read. And then when you're on the run like that, some of these boot actions, it's number 1 to number 2 to number 3. You call them progression reads. Again, clean picture for Bryce Underwood.
2nd and 5 for Michigan. Play action again. Underwood going deep. He was looking in the direction of Marlon Klein. 3rd and 5.
Almost had him. Number 1, Dakota Cochran. 6'2", 240 linebacker, just wasn't able to run with Marlon Klein. He had a step on him, but Bryce just couldn't complete. But there's a telling stat. In some sense, in the pocket when it's a clean picture, like we've been saying, he's been great. Outside the pocket, the numbers drop down a little bit.
Underwood to pass again on 3rd and 5. Going to let his legs go to work. 1st down and then some. Underwood out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. Haven't seen a lot of him using his legs. Perfect example right there, Jake.
That's the missing element. This unlocks an entire new dynamic for Michigan's offense. Part of the reason he was the number 1 player coming out of high school, a 5-star, was because of his athleticism. And Chip Lindsey, Sharon Moore were both asked a bunch in their media pressers this week about running their quarterback. And so far, I mean, that wasn't a targeted run, a called run.
Fade route, a lot of contact, and a flag coming out Looking for McCulley in the end zone.
Definitely looked like number 3, Diaz Fernandez, was holding McCulley. And you see that called a pass interference, not a holding, but you know that's the advantage in why Chip Lindsey wants to target Donovan McCulley more. He's such a big receiver, 6'5", 215 pounds. He almost looks like a basketball player. So even when you don't complete the passes, he's just such a big guy to defend. You force a penalty.
First and goal from the 2. Haynes in the backfield. Jumbo package. Give it to Haynes. He's in. Touchdown, Michigan. Opening statement for the Wolverines.
What a great drive for Chip Lindsey. What a great drive for Bryce Underwood. Nearly threw an interception on the very first play, but after that looked nearly flawless. And Justice Haynes punching it in. That's the difference, though. The left side of the offensive line, Evan Link and Nathan Afobe, they won at the point of attack. That gets Justice Haynes rolling downhill where he is a load to try to bring down.
Zavada on for the point after. Clean first drive for the Michigan Wolverines. Passing the football, running the football. Good to be back home at the big house as Haynes finds the end zone for a 5th time in Mason Blue. Running behind that new offensive line, 2 new guards. Haynes doing his thing. 7-0 Wolverines. Nearly flawless drive from the Michigan Wolverines. 7-0. Central Michigan will get the football shortly. With Poggi, the acting head coach, back in Ann Arbor for a 3rd tenure. Taking off the sweatshirt, he still has sleeves on.
He's got to feel good about that first drive, I'm sure. Sharon Moore said he's tuning in, watching on the couch with his newborn baby. He's got to feel great about that opening drive.
And a fair catch called for by Justin Ruffin. Scoring drive sponsored by Marathon. Took just over 4 minutes to do it. Underwood 44 yards through the air, 16 on the ground, and Haynes punched it in. You see a couple different quarterbacks for Central Michigan today. They usually play 3, but Jaden Glasser is out today. So Joe Labus, the first man that will be calling plays, a senior Iowa transfer. Shoulder issues a year ago with the Chippewas. This year, no picks. It's a team that likes to run the football. This is what the offense is built around. Play action, Labus to the outside, hammered. Down he goes. Jay-Sean Barham, shot out of a cannon.
He missed the first half against Oklahoma. Watch him at the top of your screen. And when he came back in that second half, there was a noticeable difference in Michigan's ability to rush the passer. Shot out of a cannon is right, Jeff, to have that speed and that acceleration. But he's 6'3", 245. He's a big linebacker. He's really the Swiss Army knife and the key to Michigan's defense with all the different positions he plays. Here he is at the bottom of the offensive line, lined up over the left tackle by Wink Martindale.
Bringing heat again. Pass behind the intended receiver. He was looking for Tyson Davis. Offensive lineup for Central Michigan. And they're going to run jumbo a ton.
It's like a hockey team almost. They rotate normally 3 quarterbacks. You mentioned it earlier, only 2 today. They play a bunch of different running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. So Wink Martindale said it's a group effort by the defensive staff today to be aware of who's on the field and what personnel packages Central Michigan is in.
2 plays, 2 passes for Central Michigan. 3rd and forever. Labus back to pass. Barham with pressure. Labus lofts it up, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Langston Lewis. Good coverage down the field.
Good coverage and good pressure, too. The pocket was just slowly collapsing. Good recoverability there by number 20, Jair Hill. It's a double move initially. It looked like he initially got beat by Langston Lewis. but that ball was floated up in the air and hung for a while, so Jair Hill was able to get back underneath it for the PBU, and a perfect start here for the Michigan defense, forcing the 3 and out.
Seeing a lot of pressure from Wink Martindale. He told us yesterday he wanted this defense to act like they were bullies this week. That was a bully drive. Declan Dooley back to kick it away, nearly got home. Morgan lets it bounce and then jumps on it at the 41-yard line. 42-yard punt. 7-0 Michigan. Bryce Underwood gets the football for a second time.
Michigan is used to having Chevy pickup trucks, but now with Bryce Underwood and Donovan McCulley, they got 2 Ferraris. And when you have a Ferrari, Jeff, you don't just take it out for a Sunday stroll. You use it early and often. Here's one example of just being special. Great throw by Bryce, even better catch by Donovan McCulley. Just didn't get enough of that against Oklahoma, but now here, after one drive, you see a early prioritization of getting the ball to Donovan McCulley.
Central Michigan able to get home. No gain for Haynes. Kwiatkowski on the tackle. Let's go downstairs. More Brooke Fletcher, Biff Poggi.
Jeff, after that last touchdown, Biff Poggi went over to Bryce, and man, he was jacked up. He said, let's freaking go. That was awesome. He told me before the game, he said, we're going to get Bryce going. He's clearly loving what he's seeing from his QB.
Thanks for cleaning that quote up for us, Brooke. Appreciate that. 2nd down and 10. Second drive for Michigan. Underwood incomplete, looking for Klein. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, so let's see what the play call is here from Chip Lindsey. Let's see what Central Michigan does defensively by Sean Cronin. Of course, last week Oklahoma, they were sending pressure in all situations, but especially on 3rd down, and Michigan would just hand the ball off, happy to punt it. Let's see what they go to here on 3rd and 10.
Just 33% on the season on 3rd down for the Wolverines. 2 for 2 so far today. Sprint right for Underwood. And the catch. Did he get a foot down? Catch is good. Samaj Morgan got that foot down. Gain of 21 if it counts. Yes.
That'll count. He got 2 down. 1 is good, 2 is better. Man, does that ball just zip out of Bryce's hands when he throws it? It's like a 100-mile-an-hour rocket ship. We called it out in the first drive. Chip Lindsey putting a priority on moving Bryce Underwood around. That was a nice block sealing the edge by running back Justice Haynes to open up that 3rd down completion.
Underwood takes and he's brought down to the backfield. Michael Heldman, the defensive end, for a loss.
He's their go-to guy, number 97, Heldman, preseason All-MAC. He's got the career and the season record for QB hurries at Central Michigan. That's not an easy task, bringing down Bryce Underwood in the open field, but good job there by Heldman.
Loss of 3, 2nd down and long. Seen some big chunk plays for this Michigan offense, but it's been boom or bust, right, Jake?
That's another thing Chip Lindsey wanted to work on, is not just having those explosive runs, but breaking off those 5, 6, 7-yard runs as well.
Underwood steps up. Underwood keeps, and he's across the 35-yard line. And Michigan may have gotten away with a hold there in the backfield, but a good gain for Underwood, 3rd and manageable.
I go back to Oklahoma's game plan with quarterback John Mateer. There's some similarities, Mateer and Underwood, in the sense that they're quarterbacks, yes, but they're playmakers. And Oklahoma let John Mateer be a playmaker last week. Here now, early in this game, we're seeing Bryce Underwood be more than just a quarterback, using his legs to become a true playmaker.
3rd down and 4. Underwood going deep. He's got Morgan. Caught. Touchdown. Samaj Morgan. That was a pretty ball from Underwood.
Sure was. Look, this guy is 18 years old. This is his 3rd ever start. Everyone's wondering how he's going to respond coming off a tough outing on the road at Oklahoma. And you talk about a pretty ball there, Jeff. Samaj was wide open, but Bryce didn't put it on a line. You know, he layered that ball in there. He floated the ball. It allowed Samaj to adjust and led him right into the end zone for a touchdown.
Talking about getting him in rhythm, I'd say he's in rhythm, and he's playing his game right now. A lot of Samaj Morgan on that drive. 53 of the 59 yards covering that drive. It's 14-0, and Michigan's 2 for 2 in touchdowns so far.
What I tell you there, Jeff, when you got a Ferrari, you drive the Ferrari, you use the Ferrari. Bryce Underwood's a Ferrari. Samaj Morgan, he's a Ferrari. Celebration. Michigan loving it.
Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway is back, helping students chase their dreams. Enter before September 30th at the QR code below. 2 for 2 in touchdown drives for the Michigan Wolverines. Beckham Sunderland ready to kick it away. And a fair catch called for. And drive number 2 for this Michigan State, I should say Central Michigan offense. And this defense for Michigan, they are bringing back some players from last year's team. Of course, the front is very different, but that first drive, they were very ferocious against Central Michigan.
That linebacker room is the definition of ferocious, and we see 3 different linebackers on the field right now. Jay-Sean Barham there, number 1. He's kind of playing defensive end, but you also have Ernest Hausman, and it looks like number 30, Jimmy Roeder, on the field. So 3 linebackers on the field right now for Michigan.
I saw Rod Moore there. He's been practicing. We're hoping to get him back soon-ish and plays his national championship game. But the fact that he's in pads on the sidelines a big deal.
And no one deserves it more than Rod Moore to overcome this and to get back on the field. Just a special human being. He's been a leader. His first opportunity to play was on the road against Penn State, and Mike McDonald was the defensive coordinator at the time. They didn't know if they could trust a freshman or not, but Rod Moore earned the trust right away. There's Bryce Underwood loving it pregame. But it'll be a good day when Rod Moore gets back on the field, man. It's been a long journey, and rooting for him, and can't wait to see him back making plays for Michigan.
Chips running up the gut, 3rd down and 5. Biggins on the carry.
Now, Central Michigan not afraid to go for it on 4th down. Matt Drinkle, the head coach, said they don't worry about 3rd down statistics all the time, but you know, they're pretty backed up right now. I would expect that you either get the 1st down here now or you punt it. I wouldn't expect that they have 2 downs here.
See Barham creeping up on the bottom side of the formation. Handed off. Cornist met right at the 30-yard line and brought down. 4th down coming up for Central Michigan. Ernest Hausman was listed as questionable before the game today, but one of the best linebackers nobody talks about in the country, and the punt team's coming out.
Michigan has been dealing with the injury bug early in the season. It certainly played a factor last week against Oklahoma, and you know that is a big factor for teams looking to make a push towards the conference title game and playoffs. Is, you know, what does the injury bug do for you? Good to see Hausman back out there, Jeff.
Chapeau kicks it away. And it goes out of bounds. Good field position coming up for the Wolverines. See where they mark this thing down, and it will be at the 37-yard line. Just over 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. 3rd drive coming up for Underwood and the Wolverines. Weekend in Ann Arbor. Busy time. Home to Michigan Wolverines. Jordan Marshall in the backfield. First time we've seen Marshall, and he gets it on 1st down. Short gain. Jordan Marshall, pickup of a couple. Let's go to Ashley Adamson for an Anderson Windows and Doors studio update.
All right, Jeff, Nebraska trying to start 3-0, hosting Houston Christian. First and goal, it's Dylan Raiola to Ja'Cory Barney. He is in for the first touchdown of his career. Huskers on top 10-0. Guys.
Thank you, Ashley. 4.5 minutes and change to go in this first quarter. Play action, good blitz pickup. Underwood's going to run it past midfield, across the 40, puts his shoulder down, and he's inside the 35-yard line, showing his strength. Gain of 28.
That was a great blitz pickup. Good job calling it out there, Jeff. Jordan Marshall saw it. Central Michigan was bringing the corner blitz into the boundary, and Bryce Underwood just saw a seam and took off.
Marshall gets the carry. Now he's through the offensive line, down the sideline, and he is in, but a penalty flag is out around the 20-yard line.
Oh. Looking like he was going to be rewarded for the great blitz pickup. I think the freshman Andrew Marsh is going to get caught with holding.
Offense, number 4. Penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
See some of that breakout ability from Jordan Marshall.
We've been waiting. It's been Justice Haynes dominating the headlines, and there it is right in front of you. True freshman Andrew Marsh. They really want to get him more opportunities, and they think he's earned more playing time, but it is a trust thing with true freshmen, and you can see why a holding that didn't necessarily help the play there.
Spot foul, so it's first down and 7. Marshall back in the backfield. Marshall gets it again, tries that right side, and tripped up. Brought down by Fernando Sanchez.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Marshall, Michigan has a dynamic duo. They believe Marshall and Haynes are one of the best backfields in college football. It's just been a kind of a slow start for Jordan Marshall. Just hasn't been able to find that crease. And unfortunately for him, he finally found it, but got called back for a holding. And check this one out. Michigan an empty. Might we see a quarterback draw with no linebackers in the box?
Going to throw it across the middle, and again trying to look for Klein. That duo 0 for their first 3. A little behind Klein.
Klein's a big tight end. There's good coverage by number 17 Blackwell. Working back from that ankle injury. You want to be able to box out the defenders there. It's a bang-bang play. The best tight ends make those over the middle. Marlon Klein, he will make a number of those catches going forward.
Underwood all kinds of time. Sidearm and dropped by Goodwin. Fourth down. Could be 4-down territory here, Jake.
Yeah, I thought about it. I think if they would have got some yards there, you would have seen him go for it. So this is something that Bryce does really, really well, is adjusts his throwing angle, finds ways to get in that pocket, and he has so much zip when it leaves his hands. I think it's caught the receivers off guard. It certainly caught him off guard week 1 against New Mexico. Better job catching the ball today on some of those passes with zip, and that one just a little too much.
47-yard try from the right hash for Zavada is long. This year's 42.
Ball's away, ball's away, ball's away.
Kick is up. It's not going to curve back in. So missed scoring opportunity for Michigan as Zavada misses for just the 2nd time on the season.
Doesn't miss many.
Well, right now, first 250 fans will get $20 off a Big Ten Plus annual pass. Stream nearly 200 Michigan games plus 2,500 more events across the Big Ten this season. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to BigTenPlus.com and make sure you enter FB20 when selecting an annual pass at checkout to take advantage of this offer.
You know, I think Chip Lindsey has called an excellent game here to open things up in the first quarter.
Told you the Chippewas were going to rotate quarterbacks. We see Angel Flores on the field for the first time.
He's a true dual threat. In my opinion, the best runner of all their quarterbacks.
Toss it. Nearly tripped up by Barham, and maybe a gain of 1 for Trey Cornist. With Flores, who's rushed it a ton. He's only thrown it 3 times, Jake. You definitely have to account for him.
Yeah, transferred from Northern Arizona, where he had 8 passing touchdowns, 8 rushing touchdowns. Really, he is the definition of a dual threat. Fits perfectly in this system where they want to run the quarterback. But unfortunately for Flores or whoever's carrying the ball, Michigan has Jayshon Barham right now, who continually is shot out of a cannon.
Fitting that he's playing at the Big House today. He's from Casa Grande, which, translation, Big House, Arizona.
It took a few years of Spanish here.
Barham in the backfield again, wraps him up. No gain. Back to Ashley Adamson for an Anderson Windows and Doors studio update. Thank you, Ashley. 3rd down and 8, 5 straight runs for the Chips.
Here's the guy, Barham. Now he's playing in the defensive end there up at the top of the defensive line.
To pass, Flores steps up in the pocket, dumps it down, and close to a 1st down. And they'll give him the yardage. Brock Townsend on the reception, coming out of the backfield.
Martindale had been bringing a ton of pressure. It's an aggressive defensive game plan to start. That time we circled Barham and he dropped out. So Michigan playing a little bit more coverage that time, and Flores did a good job of getting to his check down to move the chains.
So Flores picks up that 3rd down, and Joe Labus checks back in. First down for Central Michigan.
They treat these quarterbacks just like any other position.
Play action. Barham back in the backfield, slings him down. 2nd sack for Barham.
So what teams try to do is they're going to pull around. When Barham's lined up at the end of the line of scrimmage, teams are going to try to pull around to block him. They leave him unblocked because he's on the edge, but you just can't do that. He's too good of a player. Even when you block him with 1 guy, sometimes 2 guys isn't enough, but when you leave him unblocked off the line of scrimmage, he's just so quick downhill, and he doesn't miss tackles. Man, he's been everywhere to start the game here, Jeff.
2 sacks, both by Barham. Going backwards, 2nd and 19. Townsend on the carry, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
There's Cole Sullivan making the play. I mean, this is what Wink Martindale said, and I really feel their backups, Sullivan and Roller, could start at most schools' talented linebacker room.
14-0 Michigan after 1 quarter at the Big House.
Wink Martindale said he wants his defense to be a bunch of bullies. Well, number 1, Jayshon Barham, he's leading that cause. He is a big bully, and Central Michigan has helped out their cause because they haven't really blocked him, haven't even tried to block him. And he's really just a nightmare for opposing offenses, and Wink Martindale does such a great job moving him all over the defense. Makes it really hard to key and double team Barham, and he's been making plays when opportunities have presented themselves.
Bottom of the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 19, and they shovel pass. Biggins on the catch. Biggins unable to break free. Decent game, but it brings up 4th down. Jair Hill with the stop. How do you try and combat pressure? Shovel passes, draw plays, things of that nature.
It's just Central Michigan, they want to run the football, and they're really not built to attack Michigan's secondary. The challenge is when you're Central Michigan, you have to win the early downs. You got to get into 3rd and manageable, and they haven't even been close here to start the game.
Morgan wrapped up. And Michigan takes over just outside their 20-yard line. Well, tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Kirk Ferentz could potentially be in a class all by himself. The win in Iowa City against UMass, he's going for win number 206, with move him ahead of Woody Hayes for the most wins by any coach in Big Ten history. Anthony Herron, the former Hawkeye, was on the team for game number 1, calling that one alongside Mark Followell and Danny Rogers. Look at that list. Bo Schembechler, 194. Amos Alonzo Stagg, 199. Woody Hayes and Kirk Ferentz. Going to have him a nicer guy, too.
That's one of those records that is going to stand for forever.
Handoff goes to Marshall. Check back in with Ashley Adamson for an Anderson Windows and Doors studio update.
Jeff, we got a lot of Big Ten action in this early window. Maryland all over Towson. Malik Washington made some big throws early here. He keeps it for himself. First rushing touchdown of his young career. Terps up 17-0 early, Jeff.
Thanks so much, Ashley. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. 4th drive of the Wolverines. Play action. Underwood going deep. He's got a man. Catch is made. Andrew Marsh.
Freshman to freshman running a scissors concept. Donovan McCulley running the post route outside. Andrew Marsh there in the slot running the corner route. But watch how this ball just floats and layers right into the hands of Andrew Marsh. You know, Bryce Underwood, what is so impressive is the ability to change throw velocity and pacing and tempo. He can zip at 100 miles an hour and fit it into tight windows. But for a young quarterback to be able to just layer the ball in over that zone defender, that's big time stuff, Jeff.
The passing game is alive and well today. 142 yards through the air last week against Oklahoma. Different story today. Underwood again back to pass. All day to the sideline. Hogan Hansen wins the jump ball.
And just another beautiful layered pass. You got your tight end Hogan Hansen, 6'5", great receiver running down the sideline. And Bryce is just waiting. There really wasn't anything open downfield, but when you can throw a ball like that, Jeff, your tight end's always open.
Just a subtle push right there. Excellent job by Hogan Hansen hauling in that pass.
The location, we call it ball placement. It's not just accuracy and throwing the right guy, but it's the ball placement.
Underwood design run right behind Bredesen. Underwood in, touchdown Wolverines.
This is the Bryce Underwood showcase. Such a great game plan to start the game here by Chip Lindsey. Saying, man, we got an 18-year-old stud in Bryce Underwood. Let's give him the keys to this offense. My goodness, he's doing everything today.
3 straight plays of 20+ yards to close the drive. This is not just a day off with the Ferrari. It's a whole week with the Ferrari.
And it helps when you got big number 44, Max Bredesen, leading up through the hole. Watch it pulling around, bang, sticking the guy, and then Bryce Underwood showing off the speed to the pylon. Touchdown, Michigan.
Over 120 total yards already for Bryce Underwood through a quarter and 3 minutes.
How do you think Sharon is enjoying watching this at home?
Well, hopefully with the volume down for our sake, but I bet you his notepad is quite full. Underwood and Herb Street. What do you think Bryce is telling him right now, Jake? See that? That's pretty good.
Yep. He's probably saying, I told you I can run.
Just got to take the governor.
Didn't doubt you.
Just take the governor off me. Underwood formed a pretty good bond with Max Bredesen. For more on that, let's go downstairs to Brooke Fletcher.
Max told me Bryce Underwood is unlike any other quarterback he's ever been around, and he's been around some good ones, you guys. He said he really saw it during camp when they were roommates. Bryce would sit there on his iPad, go through the entire script of the day. Sometimes Max was telling me it's like 100 plays. He's like, this was not normal. But he also went on just to say his mind and just the way he carries himself at that position is completely different. Almost hard to explain because he's never seen anything like it. He's a different breed.
And to that, so what Brooke was saying there is when they were roommates in camp, Bryce would get out the whiteboard.
You get a run from Flores. Good spin move. Right in the back of his H-back, Rusty Van Wensica.
So during camp, you get all your plays ahead of practice so you can anticipate what's going to be run. And at the end of the day, Bryce would get out the whiteboard with Max Bredesen and draw out all the formations and the calls, and he would practice calling it to Max Bredesen. I've been around a lot of quarterbacks that have done that. But then Max told us not only that, he was going to go through his reads. He was going to take you through his checks, exactly what he was looking for at each and every play. So it's high-level stuff mentally by the clearly talented Bryce Underwood. You combine the mental with the talent, and it's really, really dangerous for opposing defenses.
We were telling the story. Neither of them said anything about the cleanliness of the other one, which was a good thing.
No,
one was
Max
outing
said
anybody.
Bryce was clean.
Okay.
Right?
And then Bryce just said, I just let him do his own thing.
Yeah. And we were saying, I don't know if I want my fullback to be clean. I kind of want my fullback to be a little dirty. But Max is clean. He just can do it all.
Third and 1, Flores up the gut, and he is hammered and brought backwards. Jimmy Rolder got right in the hole and stonewalled him.
Well, the best coaches find a way. They say we got to get our best 11 on the field, and Wink Martindale feels that they're 3 or 4 deep in the linebacker room. Jimmy Rolder now effectively starting and rotating with Cole Sullivan as the off-the-ball linebacker spot because they've moved number 1 Jayshon Barham on the line of scrimmage. And now look at, you got 5 defensive linemen on the line of scrimmage, 2 linebackers. Let's see what Central Michigan does here.
Going forward on 4th and inches. Flores to pass to the outside, catch, and the tackle wrapped up. They're not going to get it. Brandon Hillman had the stick and held on.
What a great job fighting through the block by number 6, Brandon Hillman. He's the tone setter of this defense. He's really a throwback safety. Look at him just knock number 20, Langston Lewis, back, fight right through to the ball carrier. And stones number 5, Nari Biggins. Just, you know, I watched Brandon Hillman. I'm like, man, that guy should play on the early 2000s Ravens or the Steelers. He's just a throwback physical safety that wants to pop you in your mouth, and he enjoys the violence of football.
First down, plus territory. Take a shot here.
It does feel like the time for a shot, Jeff.
Instead, they run it. Maybe a shot in a running game. Justice Haynes, a first down for the Wolverines inside the 25-yard line, gain of 11.
Well, to get the movement up front, it starts with the offensive lineman. Watch the block by the left tackle, Evan Link, right here. Engaging, and then running his feet on number 14, Fernando Sanchez. You know, Evan Link was starting at right tackle last year, kind of struggled a little bit. They bumped him over to left against Alabama in the bowl game, and he's really been finding his groove, especially in the run game. Great job leading the way.
Haynes again in the backfield. Traditional formation. Bredesen will sweep it to the outside. Marsh on the carry. Marsh in the open. Touchdown. First career score for Andrew Marsh.
Listen, we're going to celebrate the players, but we should celebrate the play caller as well. Chip Lindsey is calling a flawless game here, forcing Central Michigan to defend everything. And when you're running these reverses, you need a lineman out in space. Look at number 51, Greg Crippen, out in space, doing a great job blocking the smaller number 2, Elijah Rickard, who's only 190 pounds. So Greg Crippen really sealing that block down the field and allowing Andrew Marsh to run it into the end zone with his speed.
4 touchdowns by 4 different players so far for the Wolverines. Andrew Marsh, his first touches of his collegiate career coming today. He's caught a pass, a deep one from Underwood. Now he runs one in. It's all Wolverines in Ann Arbor. (28-0) Michigan. They have played a near flawless game on offense. Been in scoring position each and every drive. 9 plays of 15 or more yards. They're doing it through the air. They're doing it on the ground. Totally dominant in the first quarter plus.
I think back to even my playing days, Jeff, and you know, when Michigan was able to physically outmatch an opponent, oftentimes, you know, with Jim Harbaugh, you just run the ball because you know you can. You know, you run the ball because you know you can, and it's what you want to do. But we talked about on the open how important this game was to find an identity, and I give Chip Lindsey so much credit for calling a full game plan. They're really finding their identity in the pass game.
Big Ten Plus gives you access to more live Big Ten games Wednesday. See these two schools square off on the volleyball court. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on. Angel Flores was on the field. Now he's on the sideline. Labus back in at quarterback for Central Michigan. And they have been doing next to nothing on offense with the way this defense is pinning their ears back, especially Barham.
Thankfully, Barham is not on the field right now, so I wonder if Central Michigan stays in tempo and doesn't sub to keep him on the sidelines.
They run it for a gain of 2 with Nari Biggins.
That's what they'll do. Yeah, no subs. They try to get to the line of scrimmage. Oh, there is a sub. Never mind. But Barham didn't run on the field anyway.
Yeah,
so
Michigan's keeping their 11 on the field.
Michigan starting true freshman Jaden Sanders, number 27. He's the corner there, down right about the M graphic at the bottom right of your screen. Central Michigan hasn't been able to test him.
Heat again. Down he goes again. Jair Hill on the corner blitz.
So it makes this defense so hard to game plan against. You just don't know where pressure is going to come from, but you do know pressure will come. Jair Hill is their best cover corner, far left, right here at the top of your screen. Didn't hesitate at all. You always got to be aware that when a corner is pressed into the boundary, you have to be ready for the cornerback blitz. That time Central Michigan wasn't. A good job finishing the play with the sack by Jair Hill.
First sack of the year for Hill. Labus across the middle. Contested catch and incomplete. Looking for Nasir Williams. 4th and 15. Jaden Mangum in coverage.
Again, suffocating pressure. That time number 95, Trey Pierce. 310-pound Chicago native. That time he was in the backfield forcing that throw to get up early.
9 total yards from Central Michigan so far in this game. Suffocating defense.
That's what Sherrone Moore said. He said, I expect this team to play with the chip on their shoulder. They've been practicing with the chip on their shoulder all week.
Morgan runs into his own blocker, and he's down right at the point of attack. 42-yard line, 37-yard punt, no return. Bryce Underwood back on the field in Ann Arbor. Maybe some history today for Bryce Underwood and the Wolverines. 70 yards rushing today. The last to have over 100 yards rushing. Devin Gardner, you blocked for a lot of that.
I think I did. That's exactly right.
121 yards on the ground. Hope you got a free steak out of it.
Back then there was no NIL, so.
Someone could have bought it for you. Underwood going deep. And it's going to be intercepted. He's looking for Kendrick Bell. It's picked off. Diaz Fernandez on the interception, his 2nd of the year. And the first turnover and really the first mistake by Michigan.
Well, it can't go perfect forever for your freshman quarterback, but that's one Bryce just cannot make. It's something he doesn't want to make. So just watch this. It's very similar to the first play of the game. And I talk about seeing a clean picture, a clear picture for Bryce. As he comes out here, you see that number 3, the cornerback. He's got his hips turned. He is sinking underneath that. Diaz Fernandez read that all the way. So, Bryce, when you come out of there, if you're going to take that shot, you have to get your eyes on the safety. Very, very similar to the first play where it was a near interception. This time, Diaz Fernandez was able to finish the play with an interception.
Flores back at quarterback, go to the outside. Catch made by Davis, and he's cracked down by Mangum. Markham at the 19-yard line. Underwood going to the sidelines. Acting head coach Biff Poggi.
Listen, this is why he is the acting head coach. Is an emotional leader, guy the players trust. I know Biff Poggi really, really well.
Yeah.
His son Henry, my college roommate, one of the best men at my wedding. I've known Biff since we were, freshmen in college, freshman back in college, and he's just such an awesome human being first. Someone the players lean on and trust, and like I said, a good guy for Bryce to meet on the sidelines there after his first mistake of the game.
3rd down and 2. Flores under pressure. Flores going to run for it. He'll pick up the 1st down. And he's out to the 30-yard line, move the chains for the Chippewas. What is it about Biff Poggi, Jake, that makes him so different? He's the head coach at Charlotte for a couple of years, comes back to Michigan. What is it about him?
I wish I could define it. When you're around certain people and you just say, that person's special. Someone that you just immediately trust. Someone that when you talk to them, you know that they genuinely want what's best for you. That's what Biff Poggi is. And he was so valuable when Henry was a player. I mean, Jim Harbaugh started to bring him on as effectively a consultant. And each year he proved to be more and more valuable. His role grew.
Flores right up the gut. Huge gain. Biggest gain of the day for Central Michigan. Getting close to midfield.
Really nice play there. Kind of like a little G counter. They're pulling the guard play side to lead up through number 66. Matthew Neff had that key block, and Flores finding something here on the ground. We mentioned he's the true dual threat, the best running quarterback they have on the roster.
Mangum went low, took the leg out from Flores. He's back at quarterback in the shotgun with Cornist, who goes in motion. Flores to the outside, short hops his intended receiver Tommy McIntosh. Still ahead, football triple header continues. Michigan State battles Youngstown State. Rutgers hosts Norfolk State. And Kirk Ferentz looks to become the Big Ten's all-time winningest coach when Iowa collides with UMass. It's all still ahead on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Potentially a historic day on the network. Last week, had #1 and #2 in the country on the network on the same day for the first time. Flores sprint left. He's going to keep it. Flores puts his head down. 3rd and manageable after a gain of 5.
This kind of just further emphasizes the importance of avoiding those mistakes. Football's such a game of momentum, and when Underwood took that snap before throwing the interception, Michigan had all the momentum. It was 100% to 0. Throws the interception, and now for the first time really all day, Central Michigan is finding themselves in a groove, and I'd expect here 3rd and manageable. I really believe Matt Drinkle, the head coach, is telling his offense, you got 2 shots here to get the 1st down.
Starting to see the Army influence come out of Matt Drinkle in this series. Flores going to run behind corners. Flores stays on his feet. He's inside the 35-yard line, and here come the Chippewas.
This offense looks very similar to some of the quarterback run schemes we saw last week by John Mateer and the Oklahoma Sooners. It's hard to stop the quarterback run. Why is it? Well, because usually when you're running the football, your quarterback is handing it off, and he's irrelevant to the play. So then you only have 9 blockers for 1 ball carrier. Well, when your quarterback is carrying the ball, that unlocks the other 10 guys to be blockers. So you get an additional body in the run game. Makes it harder to stop.
Barham on the field again from Michigan. Flores fake the run, pass to the outside. He had a man. It was behind him. Langston Lewis, the intended receiver. My question to you, Jake, they're having some success with the run game right now. Why didn't you start that way?
Yeah. That's a good question, Jeff. It's a good question. They started running the football. It's just not with Flores and not with these exact schemes. And it took them a while to figure out they really need to put 2 bodies on Barham. Look at Jayshawn Barham right here. He's got 2 tight ends on him.
Flores to the outside. That's a good catch. Tight end Nathan Van Timmeren on the reception. First catch of the year.
Same thing once again. I just think with the momentum, you got 2 shots here, right? They're just going to keep going for it if they can get into the 4th and short situations. So with that in mind, this would be an opportunity if you are going for it on 4th down to take a shot. See if you can catch Michigan's defense off guard.
It's all Flores on this drive. He has had the most success at the quarterback position today for Central Michigan. Cornist is the running back. Handed off to Cornist. Runs into a wall. Stays on his feet. A penalty flag comes out. Be a first down depending on the flag. Kind of in the area of a hold, but we'll see.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 0. The penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Say Trey Williams, but let's take a look. Oh, right there. Yep, 17.
Yep.
And Oetta. Fingertips right on that face mask. So it's 1st and goal for Central Michigan. Three minutes to go in this first half. Flores to the outside. Wrapped up and dropped. TJ Metcalf, the nickel corner on the stop.
TJ Metcalf blew that play up. Sometimes in football we say, be the hammer, not the nail. Watch TJ Metcalf right here. Blocking, they're trying to block him as they run the screen. Watch him, bang, just completely takes number 20 Langston Lewis and walks him all the way back into the ball carrier's lap. Tyson Davis, that's called being the hammer right there by TJ Metcalf.
Coming up on a 2-minute timeout. Flores to run it. Flores gets back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down and goal at the 2-minute timeout in Ann Arbor. 28-0 with the Chippewas knocking on the door. Today's team comparison brought to you by Ace Hardware. And until this drive, Jake, this was very lopsided. Central Michigan starting to move the football a bit more. 13th play of this drive, but this has been a clinic offensively for Michigan.
For Central Michigan, boy, do you need a touchdown here.
3rd and goal, called at the 9. Flores sprint right. He's going to keep it hammered at the 5-yard line. Cole Sullivan brought him down.
Looks like enough that.
And Michigan's going to use a timeout. Step aside for 30 seconds. Big timeout call right there by Biff Poggi.
It really was. Wasted no time. You know, there was no time thinking about it. No hesitation. Great execution by the acting head coach, Biff Poggi. Wants to give Bryce Underwood another chance with the football.
Well, now it's 4th down. And Central Michigan is going to bring out the field goal unit. Cade Graham will try this attempt. 22-yard try. He's 4 for 5 so far this year. Chip shot in essence from the right hash. And he knocks it through. Central Michigan is on the scoreboard. Bryce Underwood will get the football again. Try the 2-minute offense. Step aside again for 30. Coming up on the halftime report, sponsored by TIAA. Rick Jerry Howard, first half analysis. Ducks are in Evanston. Big Ten opener. Huskers and Terps rolling early. Michigan's got a good test next week against Nebraska. Putting some good stuff on tape. All that coming up on the halftime report. Good drive right there by Central Michigan. Maybe some questions on whether or not to go for it on 4th down right there.
Yeah, I would have went for it. You know, 3 points doesn't, I mean, it gets you on the board. Cool, I get it. But it doesn't really help you all too much. And if you scored a touchdown, great. If you didn't, you would have forced Michigan to have to go 95, 96 plus yards.
Marsh on the return. Scored the last touchdown, trying to bounce it to the outside, and it'll go out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Bryce Underwood has shown it through the air and with his legs today.
Man, he's the total package. And we knew this. We knew this when he decided to commit to Michigan, but putting it fully on display. There was flashes week 1, even in a frustrating game, some flashes week 2. and came out this week playing completely free. That's been the best element to see if you're a Michigan Wolverine fan, is the legs of Bryce Underwood. And now here I give so much credit to Biff Poggi. Zero hesitation calling that timeout on Central Michigan's last drive. Now a minute 45 for Bryce and this Michigan offense to operate.
From the 21-yard line, Haynes gets the carry, gain of 4 out to the 25-yard line. See how fast this offense goes.
You got plenty of time. It's always important. You got to get that first down. That's when you really start to get the ball rolling in your 2-minute drill.
Underwood to the outside. That's a good catch by Goodwin. And they'll move the chains. There's that first down.
Yep, and a really great job by Goodwin, too, fighting for those extra yards. Stops the clock initially. Bryce, again, being decisive. You see how quickly that ball was on Goodwin's outside shoulder.
Extra man coming. Underwood gets to the outside, wants to throw instead. He carries across the 40. And they'll give him another first down using his legs. He's up and over 80 yards on the ground.
Such a great job once again. And you can't quantify it. You can't measure it. There's no statistic to show it, but you know it when you see it. Poise. You know, even last week against Oklahoma, Sharon Moore said, I agree. He didn't flinch, never looked rushed. And here in the 2-minute drill, it's when it really gets exposed. He does not look rushed at all.
Underwood shovel pass. Haynes trying to get to the outside. He does. And he gets out of bounds to stop the clock. 55 seconds.
It's a great play call and a great job by Bryce Underwood. You don't want your 5-star quarterback to get hit, but that is kind of the way this play is structured. You want to invite that pass rush upfield and then get it to your running back underneath the pass rush. So Heldman got a free hit on Bryce, but Bryce bounces right back up and a nice explosive.
Into Central Michigan territory, Underwood bounces to the outside, throws, and it's batted away. Caleb Spann got his hand on it.
There's so many things he does as a true freshman that are just so far beyond his years. And again, like the physical talent is obvious, but clearly he's mentally engaged. He's ahead of things. Now again, he's the only time he's struggled today is when he isn't seeing the safety rotation. It's important he gets his eyes on the safeties here to finish out the drive.
Goodwin on the catch, I should say, just outside the 30-yard line. Moving the chains again, 1st and 10 for Michigan.
Once again, just decisive. Immediately seeing that Central Michigan is playing off coverage. He has a free access hitch. Ball gets zipped out there to Goodwin. And another first down. And okay, this goes back to the understanding the full situation. 45 seconds on the clock. You have 2 timeouts, so you can work the entire field here, including a quarterback run if you want.
All kinds of time. Underwood. And a drop by Morgan.
Oh man, there was some space out there. And the captain, tight end Marlon Klein, he really sealed that edge. If Samaj catches that, watch number 17 here right at the point. Doing a great job blocking number 4 Jackson. If Samaj catches that, he has nothing but green grass out in front of him.
Some immediately changed the direction of his hands on how he should have caught that pass. 2nd and 10. Underwood again feeling the heat. Goes out to his left. Puts his head down. Hit by 4 chips. And they'll stop the clock. Use a timeout. 34 seconds to go. 3rd down and 5 coming up after 30 seconds. Coaching staff told us yesterday that the governor might be off on Bryce Underwood with the running game. I'd say it's off and then some.
Yes. And it's such an important element. You know, when we meet with teams each week, we meet with the head coach and both coordinators, and whenever you talk to a defensive coordinator, you say, what's the number one thing that stresses you out? It's a quarterback that can and will run. So another element to this Michigan offense.
3rd and 5. Underwood. Great pass catch by McCulley. Boy, he put his foot in the ground and stopped on a dime.
And that's just QB1 to wide receiver 1. That is a bang-bang play. It's press coverage. Bryce was looking to McCulley's way the entire way. Stop route on 3rd down. Got to have it. go to your guy number 1. Big difference between the third down play calling last week at Oklahoma.
Coming up on 200 yards passing for Underwood. Inside the red zone. Underwood to pass again. Goodwin fighting close to the goal line. He's down at the 1. Michigan still has a timeout left. Clock should stop.
The clock did not stop.
Well, it should have stopped on a first down.
That is a huge error.
They had it at the 18-yard line, and the clock never stopped to move the chains. Should have stopped with about, I don't know, 14 seconds.
Yeah. A good catch there. Michigan to call the timeout. It looks like the officials are talking about it down on the field. Biff is out there to have a word with them. You're right, that clock never stopped. No.
See what the officials say here.
Please put 12 seconds on the clock. 12 seconds on the clock.
Get a bonus 6 seconds out of it.
Correction on the snap.
Mike Pereira out in Los Angeles. What should the time clock say on this?
Well, you see it there on the screen, so it should really, in my opinion, be 22. Reset it for 22. Michigan could take a timeout. They have one available, or it would start on the ready for play. I don't really know how they arrived at 12.
Would it be the 10-second runoff?
Well, they're going to go inside, score a touchdown anyway. Jordan Marshall punches it in.
Once again, just a great drive by Chip Lindsey, a great drive by Bryce Underwood, a great drive by these Michigan playmakers. Checking every single box. We knew this was going to be a huge test for Michigan before going on the road next week to a red-hot Nebraska Cornhuskers football team. And then they have just been so impressive here, Jeff, on offense. On defense, too.
Scored on every drive but one. The missed field goal and then the interception, the only turnover. 5 different touchdown scores, 35-3. 35-3, another clean touchdown drive, and that's your 2-minute situation that you wanted to see from Underwood. A lot of poise.
Every single rep is so valuable. That learning curve when you're a freshman is exponential. Everything is new. Everything is for the first or second or third time. That's the game within the game. 2-minute drives are completely separate and independent. You have your own offensive playbook for 2-minute situations. Defenses have their own defensive playbook for 2-minute situations. And Bryce just looks so comfortable. And again, Jeff, it's not just finding the open guy or throwing with accuracy. How about the ball placement is perfect. It's on the right shoulder every time. It's, you know, at hip level down on the goal line, or a jump ball to Hogan Hansen down the sideline. He's putting the ball exactly where it needs to be.
Maybe 2 passes that he'd like to have back.
Yes.
Interception of the first one of the day, if you want to be nitpicky.
And those were just not seeing. I mean, they're still pretty balls. Just to the other team, but that's just him not seeing this late safety rotation.
He's passed for over 200. He's run for almost 100. Coming up on an all-time type of day for Bryce Underwood. And it looks like Central Michigan is going to kneel on it. They'll get the football coming out of halftime. This has been all Wolverines on their home field. First day game of the year. Underwood in the offense with 5 touchdowns with 5 different players. And they're doing whatever they want on the offensive side.
The big question now is, especially without Sharon Moore on the sidelines, Biff Poggi, I'm sure they talked about this, is how long do you keep Bryce Underwood in this game? How long do you keep your starters in the game? Again, it's still an exponential learning curve for a young guy. Every rep counts, but you'd love to keep your guys fresh and healthy as well. So a little bit of balancing of the equation there.
4 rushing touchdowns in this first half by 4 different players, Underwood included. Go downstairs with Brooke Fletcher.
Coach, how would you describe the poise you saw from Bryce Underwood on that last drive?
Well, first thing I would say is you saw 120 kids send a love letter to their head coach, Sharon Moore. That's what that was about. We've been very balanced offensively, about 150 and 150 on the ground and in the air. Defense has been tremendous, just dominating performance. And Bryce has really exploded. Chip Lindsey has called it great, and Wink has it dialed up.
Bryce has nearly been perfect except that interception. I saw you talk to him. What was your message to him to kind of hit the reset button?
My message to him was, I like it.
Thanks, Coach.
Don't hold back.
Thanks, Coach.
Let her rip. Biff Poggi, appreciate the time. 35-3. The Bryce Underwood Show is well underway here in Ann Arbor. Halftime coming up. It's all maize and blue this afternoon. Back in Ann Arbor, start of the second half. All Wolverines today against the Chippewas of Central Michigan. Hi again, everybody. We got Jake Butt, Jeff Levering up with you in the booth. Brooke Fletcher's down on the field. And Jake, we came on the air today talking about how this team in Michigan would respond after last week at Oklahoma. I think we have our answer.
Yeah, pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty close to perfect. And especially we were wondering what they'd look like offensively. And I give a ton of credit to Chip Lindsey. He's the orchestrator of everything. Said he wanted to get Bryce Underwood comfortable. Well, Bryce does look comfortable. Wanted to use his legs a little bit more. Great. We've seen that. Another element to the offense. Just a few, two specifically errors where he's not seeing a zone dropping defender away of the receiver he's targeting. That one led to an interception, one a near interception. But aside from that, Jeff, you got to say that's an A-plus first half performance.
297 combined yards for Bryce Underwood. Just wonder how much he's going to play in the second half. Central Michigan will have the football first. Coming out of the break. Had a good drive, their final drive of that first half. We'll see how they come out of the gate here in the second half. And they'll start with Joe Labus running the offense. They had a lot of success with Angel Flores. Career highs in passing, career highs in running. But Labus will be the captain of the offense to start half number 2.
Probably a chance for Matt Drinkle to figure some things out for his own football team with Central Michigan. Talk about a tough opening start to the season.
Handed off up the middle and brought down after a very short gain. Barham, who was the star defensively in that first half, gets his first tackle of the second half. And Barham is down, and that is a terrible sign for Michigan. He was playing his face off in that first half. He does not look very comfortable down there. See if we can see what happened to Barham.
There he is coming once again, blowing up the polar. Looked like number 95, Trey Pierce.
Take a look, see where this foot lands. Yep, right there. That is not comfortable.
It's a good sign that Biff Poggi was laughing and joking with them while they were walking off the field.
Yeah, Barham's laughing. He'll laugh about it in about 5 minutes. To the outside, run it with Cornist. And it's a gain of 1, brings up 3rd down and 9.
He's just so impactful for this defense. It was noticeable, his absence in the first half against Oklahoma. And again, we like Jimmy Rolder. I like Cole Sullivan. I like the guys that they rotate at the linebacker position. But Barham is so much more than just a linebacker. So hopefully we'll see him back out here soon.
Brock Townsend is the running back on this 3rd down and 9. Sprint out to the right. Oh, he avoids one. Labus gets rid of it, completes the pass. He's going to be short of the first down. McIntosh made the catch. Derek Moore was all over Labus, but couldn't finish the tackle.
That was almost an assist. Cole Sullivan forces Labus to pull up. You see big number Derek Moore pursuing from the backside. They didn't even block number 8, Derek Moore, because they were rolling away from him, but that's the speed and the ability to chase down the quarterback for a guy that's 260 pounds. Pretty impressive. He's their best defensive lineman on this University of Michigan defense.
Moore crouched over on the sideline. Dooley to kick it away. Morgan calls for the fair catch. Good catch at the 31-yard line. Let's go downstairs. Brooke Fletcher.
Once teammates, now opponents for Bryce Underwood and Central Michigan linebacker Andre Thomas Jr. They grew up best friends, so much that Bryce told me Andre was at his house every single day. He even lived with him and his grandma for a week at one point. But they were a part of that successful run at Belleville High School here in Michigan. Man, were they good. This is actually, though, the first time they've faced each other, guys. Bryce told me since they were 9 years old. And of course, as great friends, like, you know, the smack talking is going down in the group text. But Bryce said it's just fun to share a field with him, regardless of what team he's on.
Great stuff, Brooke. Thank you so much. Underwood still out there. And they'll hand it off left side. Huge hole goes Haynes down the sideline. Justice Haynes is in the clear. Touchdown for now. $70 yards, but a flag was out.
Holding. Offense number 55. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Ethan Afobe, the left guard, filling in for El Hadi today. Negates a 70-yard touchdown.
I've been watching 55 right there. Coming right around the edge. Gets his hands on number 6, Kalen Carroll, the defensive back. And
first down.
the official had a clear look at that one, seeing a handful of jersey, and calls the holding, negating a huge touchdown. Almost the second straight week, just popping off the second half with the touchdown.
See that burst from Haynes. Spot foul again, first down and 10. Penalties have been an issue at times for Michigan. Underwood, designed run. He's going to try that left side. Across the 50-yard line into Chippewa's territory. He's getting close to 100 yards on the ground.
But most importantly, he's got the speed to turn the corner and get out of bounds where he's untouched.
Most total yards and a half since 2015. That was the first half for Underwood, not counting that last 10-yard run.
I'm proud to say I'm on this list twice, Jeff. Wilton Spate 2016 and Jake Rudock 2015.
As a blocker.
As a blocker,
You've
yes.
been assisting.
Yes.
Give to Haynes again. Bounces through that first layer. Caroms his way for a gain of 7.
Should go back to Bryce's rushing ability. He's taken a few hits in this game, but overall, especially when he's had the opportunity to, he's been able to avoid some wear and tear on his body. I think that should be encouraging for Sharon Moore and for Chip Lindsey to say, hey, this should definitely be an element, and a major element at that, package of our offense going forward.
It's a big deal for a quarterback, learning how to use his body in the run game. Haynes bounces to the outside. He'll pick up a first down. Learning how to fall is a big deal for a quarterback.
You ever watch, Lamar Jackson? You were watching Sunday Night Football last week. It's Lamar and Josh Allen, and that was the big question mark with Lamar. Is like, man, this guy is a great runner, but kind of wiry. How's he going to stay healthy? And to your exact point, Jeff, there's an art to knowing how to slide, how to even get tackled, how to fall. And Lamar's one of the best to do it. And I think some of that is hard to teach. It just comes natural to you or not. And I'd say here to start the game, Bryce has done a good job of protecting himself, which is an encouraging sign for the future.
Could throw Michael Vick in that category, too. I mean, he was arguably the greatest runner of all time at the quarterback position.
And it's important, right? Because to be the greatest runner, you got to stay healthy.
Haynes, man miss. Tackled on the backside. Maddox Blackwell, the senior safety, on the tackle. Prevented a touchdown run potentially. A gain of 11. 5 plays, all runs on this drive for Michigan. Jordan Marshall checks in. Haynes will get a blow. He's been the bell cow on this first drive of the third quarter.
Hogan Hansen in at tight end. Marlon Klein off. Changing of the guard.
Handed off again. Marshall up the gut. Another big gain. These are these 5, 6, 7-yard runs we were talking about, Jake.
Yep. And what's the key to that? It's really where is your running back first contacted? And what you're seeing here is Michigan is winning at the point of attack. You have to generate movement with your double teams. When you have 600 pounds on 300 pounds, when you have 2 linemen on 1 D lineman, they have to create movement. And then your running back, if he's not getting touched until yard 3 or yard 4, he's able to fall forward for 6 and 7 yards. That's how you get those chunk plays.
Underwood, sideline, and incomplete. Look for McCulley. Great ball, though. That was a dart.
Love the play call, too, by Chip Lindsey. It was a double move, trying to get a hitch and go on Donovan McCulley, and this is no easy task for number 8, Akeem Snell. But he did a good job staying in that hip pocket. Really a pretty good throw there by Bryce, giving his receiver a chance.
Chip Lindsey, the offensive coordinator in his first year. Last couple of years at UNC. Sprint left, Underwood hits the tight end Hansen out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Move the sticks again. Chunk after chunk after chunk.
Yep. And just third down was a key element of this game. Michigan kind of a slow start to the season, only converting 33.5% of their third downs. It's 101st in the FBS. Chip knew they had to be better, and what he's done a good job of today is giving Bryce very clean pictures. And Bryce is executing on those clean pictures.
Offensive line has kept him clean too. Underwood, play action pass. Underneath, Klein, his first catch of the day inside the 5-yard line. First time those two have hooked up.
Offense just feels so unpredictable. They're doing a little bit of everything. That time's a naked boot. See Central Michigan bringing pressure off the edge. Those two guys were unblocked. And Bryce kind of caught him off guard by booting out away from him and hitting Marlon for a nice, another one of those chunk plays there, Jeff.
Can still get a first down without getting a touchdown. Second down and 2. Handoff, bounce it to the outside. Second score of the day for Jordan Marshall. Fifth rushing touchdown of the day for Blue.
These two Michigan running backs, Jordan Marshall, Justice Haynes, they're power backs first, but watch Jordan Marshall doing a great job pressing the hole here, and then bang, there's the jump cut, cutting out to the outside, race to the end zone, touchdown Michigan, and there's high fives up in the booth for Chip Lindsey and his staff.
We're talking about the identity of this team. Running the football right now has created everything, but Underwood has been unreal today. Underwood and the Wolverines laying one on the Chippewas of Central Michigan.
It's a little tradition here in Ann Arbor, a little send-off when you're a senior. You tie your shoes and throw them over the electric cables. I lived on Vaughn Street. That is in my backyard. My wife lived on Greenwood Ave. That is in her front yard. So that right there, you're seeing it's on Greenwood Ave. Every year to start the school, the kickoff party, there's like a Greenwood block party. Everybody gets around. You're walking up and down the street, having a good time, enjoying the college life.
How does that affect your Wi-Fi?
Good question.
It's my second one I've kind of stumped you on today. Biggins on the return.
Great question.
We got Jake Butt with us, Brooke Fletcher. I'm Jeff Levering. We got Mike Pereira standing by if we need anything out in Los Angeles. Great to have a day game in Ann Arbor. Parents Weekend. 102,000 inside the Big House. Big Ten tailgate was out and about. Jake, you were on Big Ten tailgate today, signing autographs and shaking hands.
I had a great time on tailgate today. So shout out to everybody that made that one happen. It was always great to see the Michigan fans. We had a really fun segment down there and got to welcome Ohio State Buckeye Tyvis Powell into Ann Arbor. He was loving it down there.
Nice.
We're done. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. Change now.
Throw it out.
Let's give it to the youth, the
Okay.
future.
And we got one more
Future
piece
of
of
Michigan
business.
fan base.
Jake,
Whoa,
what about
all
this?
right, what is this?
This is Jake Butt in his element. Fans in blue and maize. I mean, just incredible. That vibe must have been awesome.
It really was. I mean, talk about a great way to start the day there, Jeff. And I know deep down Tyvis, even though he's an Ohio State Buckeye, I know secretly he wanted to sing. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. Secretly, just can't admit it.
No chance. He'd never be allowed back in Columbus.
Right, exactly. He gave it back to me.
Just like if you were down in Columbus, you could never do anything Ohio State-wise, even though you're from Columbus.
Exactly. No, he gave it back. Later in the segment, he brought up some memories where he was able to beat me in some matchups. So we had a little fun, a little back and forth.
Great to be here and have tailgate here too. 3rd down and 11. Flores to pass. Pocket. And it's batted down. Trey Williams got his big paw in there and knocked it away.
The interior defensive line has been a specialty. Last year was Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant. Sent those guys off, made a ton of money in the first round of last year's NFL draft. And what does Michigan do? Well, they just reload through some organic growth and through the transfer portal. Trey Williams coming in from Clemson, a guy they're really high on and a key piece of the inside of that Michigan defensive front.
Deflected that thing with his elbow.
That had some audio too, didn't it?
Yeah. A big thud.
The sights and sounds of football.
Oh, friendly fire. Morgan runs into his blocker. Able to hang on to the football, thankfully.
Timeout on the field.
37-yard punt. Tailgate, good vibes out in Ann Arbor. Sun's starting to pop through. Some call it cornhole, some call it bags. Either way, it's fun. Is in Iowa City. Kirk Ferentz trying to pass Woody Hayes, most Big Ten victories all time. Underwood slings to the outside. Samaj Morgan with some space. Close to a first down, gain of 8 on first down. Let's go to Ashley Adamson for an Anderson Windows and Doors studio update. Thanks so much, Ashley. First trip to Chicago for the Ducks. Handoff, Haynes bounces to the outside. Avoids one, avoids two. Finally brought down inside Chippewa territory to the 39-yard line.
This Michigan offense, you can follow the polars to the football. Watch your right guard right here. I believe that is number 53, Jake Guanera. Did a great job. We've seen this highlighted a few times, but the Michigan running backs, Justice Haynes, he didn't just bounce that right away, Jeff. You see how he presses the hole. It forces Central Michigan to come up and meet him. Then he bounces it late, but you can always just follow the polars with the Michigan offensive line. They'll take you home.
Remember, he had a 70-yard touchdown run negated because of a holding call. Haynes gets it again, follows his blockers, pushes forward, and close to the 35-yard line. Followed Anthony Simpson on that block. Wide receiver, went up the gut.
And very, very valuable reps. Michigan, we mentioned starting 2 new guards today, going on the road next week to Nebraska. Going to be much harder to hear, to make calls, to ID defensive fronts. As good as it's looked offensively today, there's still room for improvement, especially trying to get those chunk runs going.
Haynes again. And he's inside the 30-yard line. Upcoming schedule for Michigan is sponsored by Wendy's. All-conference play here on out. And it starts with a trip to Lincoln, Nebraska next week.
It's going to be a big-time test. You know, Nebraska, it was a huge hire when they brought in Matt Rule 3 years ago, and just been a slowly building process. And now, year 3, Matt Rule, that's when the programs typically take a jump. They got a 5-star sophomore in Dylan Raiola that's been playing phenomenal. Nebraska, they're playing with a ton of confidence right now. It's a huge matchup for both programs.
Marshall on the carry. Marshall left side near the 20-yard line. Both Underwood and Haynes have 96 yards rushing. Marshall picks up 6. Marshall's up and over 30 yards. He's scored twice. Ground game is alive and well, and churning that clock. Next week in Lincoln is going to be a fascinating game between these two teams. With what Michigan has put on tape today,
Oh, man. I just picture Nebraska's defensive coordinator, John Butler. He's, every defensive coordinator we've talked to, even when we weren't calling Michigan games, said, man, that freshman quarterback from Michigan, pretty special, huh? But now with the running ability, it's a whole nother element. And I'd say this too, Jeff. It was true when I was playing. It's true forever. Nebraska, that is a program opportunity. If they're telling what Matt Rhule is telling his team, if you guys beat Michigan, all the narratives around the program and how they've fallen short, some frustrating losses in recent years. If you beat Michigan at home, what that can do mentally for their program, it's just going to add to the intensity of that game next week.
The late flag.
After the play, personal foul. Offense number 4, late hit. 15-yard penalty. Be second down.
That's a wide receiver, Andrew Marsh. He was blocking downfield. Got into it with one of the defensive backs.
It's his second key penalty today. Remember, he had the holding earlier. I believe that negated a Jordan Marshall touchdown in the first half. So, again, that's what Chip Lindsey said. Yeah, we really like Andrew Marsh. We want to get him more playing time, but it's about earning trust, especially with those young freshmen.
Third down and long. Hand it to Marshall. Marshall slips through across the 20-yard line. Makes this call very interesting. 4th down and 1. Gain of 15.
Yeah, they're going to keep their offense on the field, and they're going to go for it. Talk about situations just like in the 2-minute. This is a situation. They're bringing in an additional offensive lineman right now. Max Bredesen's in the game. They got a tight end. This is big boy football. No mystery what they're going to be doing with the offensive call here.
Sit there.
Offset I formation. This is Big Ten football right here. Underwood to pass. Underwood gets away. He's got a lot of green. Underwood jukes. Touchdown. Boys playing with some swagger this afternoon in Ann Arbor.
I was part of the recruiting show back when we were breaking down Michigan's class, and the analyst said, yeah, we really haven't seen a prospect like Bryce Underwood. Seriously, we put him up there with Trevor Lawrence and Andrew Luck. I'll tell you what, the momentum and excitement has built and built and built, and now what you're seeing today against Central Michigan is Bryce Underwood at his best, the total package. That play was all Bryce Underwood using his legs.
Over 100 yards on the ground. First time since your teammate, Devin Gardner. Second touchdown run of the day for Bryce Underwood. Coaches said he's getting more comfortable running. I'd say he looks awfully comfortable today. No governor, all gas for the Wolverines. Bryce Underwood having a career day, really a breakout game for him. First Michigan quarterback to run for over 100 yards since Devin Gardner in 2013.
Really, really good day. We were talking in the break there, Jeff. Just even if he doesn't, you're not going to expect him to run for 100 yards every single day. Of course not, right? But now with this on tape, Nebraska is going to have to spend a significant part of their game prep and game planning for Bryce Underwood running.
Going to have to account for it. Step aside again here in Ann Arbor. Michigan rolling this afternoon. Fred Richard, all-around NCAA champion from this last spring. 7th national title for the Michigan Wolverines, stealing Jake Butt's dance moves. All of his swagger was out on tailgate earlier today. You want to bring some swag. That's your guy to lead the torch.
Don't they do breakdancing in the Olympic these days, too? That could be a submission.
That's way more than what they do in the Olympics, I think. I'm just envious. Labus will carry over the left side. Head to the studio. Anderson Windows and Doors update. Awesome stuff. Pick 6 to the house for a hundo. Labus to pass. Labus lets it out, and it's intercepted. Elijah Dotson on the pick. Michigan's going the other way.
Well, with some of the injuries to the Michigan secondary, that means young freshmen get a chance to play. Number 22, Elijah Dotson. This is a great job right here in the slot. This is not an easy interception. It's an outside release. The number 20, Langston Lewis, is trying to work back inside. Dotson is on that the entire way, and then does a good job of finding the ball in the air and picking that ball off.
Dotson with that pick, his number's sake, as he grabs the turnover chain. Justice Haynes having a big day too. We got a new quarterback in. Jaden Davis is in for Underwood. First snaps of the year for Davis. Hands it off up the middle. Haynes is over 100 yards on the ground.
How about Dotson? That's a heck of a pick. Jaden Sanders, another freshman they've been playing in the secondary, and Jaden Davis, another freshman we're getting to see. So that's where this game is headed to, is the future of the Michigan football program.
Under 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Bryson Cusdahl is in at running back. Cusdahl gets the carry, runs into his blocker, aggressive running, and he's got a first down for Michigan after a gain of 6.
Expect to see Cusdahl and then Jasper Parker, another freshman. Two guys that are going to start to rotate in. Number 42, Jalen Hoffman, comes in at tight end, a guy that had a huge spring game. Kind of fills that Max Bredesen role, a blend between tight end and fullback, an important role in the Michigan offense.
299 yards on the ground so far. Almost half of those in this quarter for Michigan. Handed off on the wide receiver run. That's Simpson on the carry. Simpson is out of bounds, and we're 105 away from Mr. Brightside, by the way, at the Big House.
Simpson, a guy that transferred in from UMass. He's creating some buzz there during fall camp. Doing some nice things. Coaches seemed high on him, and just fighting. This is what these next 15 minutes plus are about, is just finding a way to make the most of your opportunities, to earn some trust, to potentially get some playing time going forward.
24 plays of 10 or more yards today for this Wolverines offense. Handed off again. Cusdahl up the middle, getting close to the 15-yard line. Mark him down at the 18, probably the last play of this third quarter. And they are up and over 300 yards on the ground total today on 37 totes. End of the third quarter. Mr. Brightside is on the way. We'll be back in 1 minute, and you can enjoy it with us. Wolverines are rolling in Ann Arbor. And they are all in a lather. First day game of the year. And it's time for Mr. Brightside. How could you interrupt Mr. Brightside? I wasn't going to. Even on a touchdown run potentially from Kuzdal. Mr. Brightside was going to take him into the end zone.
That would have been poetic.
Right? First and goal for the Wolverines. Kuzdal gets it again up the middle, churning, and he's down to the 1.
I mean, just taking a look at this.
They're going to go quick.
Looked like he was down.
Handoff, Kuzdal, he is in this time. Another touchdown for another Wolverine running back.
Great push by the Michigan offensive line, and it's especially important. What do you do up front when everybody knows what you're going to do? Everyone knows. Central Michigan knows. The whole world knows Michigan's going to run the ball the rest of this game. They knew they were going to run the ball that entire drive, and the offensive line was still able to get push. And you know, these reps are important for a guy like Bryson Kuzdal. I mean, who's that RB3 spot behind Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall? You know, Bryson Kuzdal, he had a great spring. He led the leading rusher in the spring game, 105 yards on the day. So maybe it's him.
You realize how important that is. Think about bowl time last year. Jordan Marshall's able to
Great point.
pick up 100 yards against Alabama. Kuzdal, touchdown run for Michigan. 7 rushing scores in the day. Dante Moore leads the 4th-ranked Ducks into a rivalry showdown with Oregon State. All coming up next Saturday, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. That's where we will be, back in Eugene. One of the longest rivalries in college football, Oregon State.
I'm so excited. That's going to be so awesome. Hey, what's the difference between, you know, the college and the NFL? They're both football, right? It's the rivalries, in my opinion. They represent the spirit of college football. Like you said, one of the longest standing rivalries in college football. Oregon Ducks playing out of their minds to start this season. It'll be a fun one.
Touchback. Final drive recaps the entire day around the conference. It's all coming up tonight, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Biff Poggi, I'm sure, will have a good phone call with Sherrone Moore at the end of this ball game. Sherrone, hey, how you doing? We said hello early, but your Wolverines look very good today. 14:01 to go in this 4th quarter. One more week for Sherrone Moore. And Biff Poggi will be the acting head coach out in Nebraska next week. Flores in trouble, gets out of it, running away, and finally brought down. Ball is out. Looked like Michigan jumped on it. And they did. Troy Bowles poked it out. Manuel Beagle jumped on it. Remember, the last giveaway turned an interception into a score. Troy Bowles poked it out. Beagle jumped on it.
Great job by Bowles pursuing there. Josiah Edmond, the first to slow him down. Looked like there was some space, though, when Flores was running back to the left, but good pursuit by Michigan, not giving up on it. Coming up with the fumble recovery.
Jasper Parker on his first carry of the day, upended, but he'll pick up a first down out to the 35-yard line. First look at the freshman Jasper Parker, 6 feet 205 out of Louisiana.
Yeah, and they're really, really excited about him. He was a summer arrival. So, you know, when I was preparing for the spring game, you always ask about the young guys, and they couldn't help but talk about Jasper. They said, hey, he's not on campus yet, but we're really, really excited about what we're going to get out of Jasper. And again, like we said on the last drive, this 4th quarter is so important for a guy like Parker. Chance to earn some reps and opportunities and maybe compete for that RB3 spot.
Parker following his blockers, puts his head down out to the 30-yard line. Gain tackled by Central Michigan after a pickup of 5.
That's when I got my first catch. That's when I got my first opportunity against this exact same opponent, actually. It was a fourth quarter of a game we were in complete control of, and I came in on trips left Y stick and caught a 6-yard pass with no one around me and fell down right away because I was scared, Jeff.
110,000 people. I don't know what's around me. I'm just going to go down.
Jasper looks a little bit more comfortable out there than I did as a true freshman.
And Jasper Parker picks up a couple, so 3rd down and 2. And see if Michigan can take advantage of another turnover from Central Michigan. 56-3. And it's been all about the running game. Underwood threw for 235. A lot of that in the first half. Been the ground game. Parker again, 1st down and more to the 20. Lots more coming up on the Big Ten Network. Triple header rolls on. Michigan State, Youngstown State. Rutgers faces off against Norfolk State, and then primetime Iowa and UMass all still ahead on the Big Ten Network. Michigan State coming off of that emotional overtime win against Boston College last week.
Aiden Childs, their quarterback, co-Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week, looked phenomenal.
Parker again on the carry. Couldn't slip up out of the shoestring tackle. Aiden Childs looked every bit of QB1 last week. He was great in moments last year for Michigan State. Year 2 with Jonathan Smith at Michigan State. Remember, he came with him from Oregon State.
Yeah, I mean, the talent was never the issue for Aiden Childs. It was just, can he avoid some of those mistakes? And no interceptions on the season, only 1 lost fumble. It's a big upgrade for Michigan State. All of a sudden, they're becoming a dangerous football team.
Parker spins, and he's hit. Knocked down to the 11-yard line, short of a 1st down. 3rd and short after a pickup of 5. It's all Jasper Parker on this drive.
It does speak, though, to the health of this conference. You know, we talked about the rivalries early. There's the conference rivalries between the Big Ten and the SEC. Now Big Ten, the last 2 national champions, Ohio State and then Michigan 2 years prior. But the meat of the conference, the health, we've highlighted Nebraska, who Michigan's going to face next week. An upgraded football team. We're just talking about Michigan State. They're vastly improved.
Parker up the middle. Parker down to the 2-yard line. Close to another touchdown for a running back. 7 touchdowns on the ground today for Michigan.
Let's watch, just draw a line here. Let's look at the offensive line. Let's watch the line of scrimmage. Let's just imagine a line and let's see who wins at the line of scrimmage.
Parker again knifes his way close to the goal line. He's inches short.
You see, he's running to the right side. Central Michigan just got enough movement. They were just able to knock back Michigan's right side just enough where Parker had to cut. Once he cut, he got tripped up, and that's what stuffed him. So again, let's look at the line of scrimmage here. Let's see, can you displace him down at the goal line? They say if you score with your man, then your running back will score.
Parker again. Did he get in? Signal? Yes. Touchdown. Jasper Parker, his first career touchdown run. 9 plays, all Parker.
As we were just saying there, for the offensive line, the coaching point is if you score with your man, the running back will score. This is just like wedge blocking. Watch everybody step down inside and drive their feet. Andrew Marsh didn't get a piece of the edge, but it doesn't matter if Jasper Parker can hit that hole in time. Bryce Underwood, a lot of reasons to smile today for the quarterback. Jasper Parker giving him another one.
9 minutes to go. 8 rushing touchdowns in the game. Program record is 9. Spada kicks it through. 63-3. All Michigan this afternoon on their home turf. (63-3). Michigan has found their identity and then some today. As that carry over into next week against Nebraska, we'll find out. Still got 9 minutes to go in this one against Michigan's Central Michigan. Biff Poggi, the acting head coach, enjoying himself on that sideline.
Said he's going to have a nice Italian dinner with his family tonight.
That makes sense.
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think his meal is, by the way? Brontosaurus?
He's a big dessert guy. That's what I will say. He's a big dessert guy.
All right, let's go downstairs. Brooke Fletcher.
Just moments ago on that fumble play there, edge Nate Marshall looked like he suffered an injury. You can take a look at the plate right there. Thank you, Jake, for that. Suffered that injury to his lower left leg. It looked like he came off the field and went immediately to the medical tent for the medical staff to look at him. He later came out with his left knee wrapped, you guys.
Thanks so much. We're thinking about Nate Marshall there. 25-yard line for Central Michigan. Brock Townsend in the backfield. Townsend on the carry. And he is wrapped up. Last couple of drives have ended in turnovers for Central Michigan. Interception. Last drive was a fumble recovery. Joe Labus in this Chippewa's offense has not had a lot of breathing room. Last week lost to Pitt 45-17, and it's a program that really wants to get the running game going against two really good run defenses in Pitt and Michigan.
And all three of their opening games on the road. Very tough draw.
Okay.
Wednesday star-studded volleyball doubleheader comes your way. First Penn State battles Pitt. Top 15 showdown, then 6th-ranked Wisconsin faces Marquette in Milwaukee. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Third down and 6. Labus to pass. Got hit as he threw it, and it's going to be caught. Nice play. It's like Justin Ruffin came down with it, the freshman. Just his 5th catch of the season, gain of 19.
He was under pressure here, too. Looks like number 88, Lugard Idopei, right in his face. That's a heck of a job getting rid of the ball and somehow getting it out there.
Longest pass play of the day. Handed off again. Townsend on the carry, and he is hammered at the 50-yard line.
It's a nice tackle by number 14, another freshman, Jordan Young. It's a very deep safety room. Seen Brandon Hillman. Jaden Mangum is now healthy. Transferred over from Michigan State. Had about 30 starts in his career. He's starting. Obviously, Rod Moore will come back here soon. But Jordan Young, a freshman, got the size. Might be looking at the future starting safety for the Michigan defense.
Townsend again up the middle for a couple. Third down for Central Michigan.
See number 2, Shamari Earls in at corner.
Big deal to get him back. Got hurt last week in pregame.
Doing a backflip. Thankfully, I never had that issue. But, you know, the numbers tell you something. Donovan McCulley wears number 1 on offense. Legendary Michigan number. Shamari Earls wearing number 2. Got Charles Woodson, of course, most recently Will Johnson. That number, there's a standard.
Labus got hit as he threw and completed the pass.
Goodness.
Man, he ended up on his back.
It's Troy Bowles, the linebacker, number 18. Yeah, 10-yard running head start, completely untouched, and just completely popped quarterback, Joe Labus.
First down. Bulls, son of the head coach. Push it ahead.
Here's this speed. Watch him right here in the middle of your screen. That's the Wink Martindale special, though. You see, he brought 5, all defensive linemen. There was 5 defensive linemen. He brought all of them. So the 5 offensive linemen are occupied. Called a 5-0. You got 5 for 5. So as soon as Troy Bowles blitzed from depth, there was no one to block him, aka 10-yard running head start on a standing target. It's a linebacker's dream.
Clean hit. Rose is in the game as a running back. Rose gets it, and he's hit behind the line.
Okay, guys.
It's a nice play by Bobby Gonka, number 99. Looks like my former teammate, Matt Godin, who also used to wear number 99.
Big boy on the line right there. 3rd down and 10 for Central Michigan. Under 4 minutes to go in this one.
Angel Flores in at quarterback. One thing to be alert of here is the quarterback legs. He's been able to hurt Michigan's defense at times when he's raining.
Hand it off up the middle and nothing there. The second unit's been great. The third unit's been great on defense for Michigan. Down in 10. No reason not to go for it. That clock keeps on ticking.
How beautiful does that stadium look, though? Or do you think I'm biased?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I'm glad you agree.
Hit as he threw it. It is up in the air and dropped. Another big shot. That Bowles again that was in on it?
Might have been.
It was indeed Bowles hitting Flores this time.
And somehow Flores got that out there to Vanderleest. Linebackers. Wink said he wants them to be bullies. Troy Bowles is the most recent bully of the Michigan defense.
60-point lead for Michigan. Don't forget, following us, Michigan State up the road in East Lansing takes on Youngstown State, 3:30 Eastern. Jake Garcia is the new quarterback for Michigan. Garcia hands it off up the middle in a big run. Thomas O'Meara.
There's some really nice blocking there. 79, the right tackle, Ty Haywood. He was moving bodies on the inside. I think 46, Crandall Quinn was also in on it.
Tons going on the rest of the day on the Big Ten Network. Triple header. I'll finish up in Iowa City. All eyes on Kirk Ferentz. O'Meara falling down. And they will move the chains for a first down. Kirk Ferentz looking for win number 206. He'll become the all-time leader in Big Ten coaching history, one past Woody Hayes.
That really may never be touched again with the current landscape of football.
I think you're right. I don't think there's a chance. Oh, O'Meara hit and stuck. Still gains 2 yards. And that will take us to the 2-minute timeout in Ann Arbor.
And all Michigan so far, Howard.
Really an outstanding job by the offensive line. Almost 400 yards of rushing. Really good job by them. And Bryce made some strides today that I thought are really going to bode well for this team moving down the road.
This the first of 4 games on the Big Ten Network. Coming up next, you can see Michigan State and Rutgers, each with 3:30 Eastern kickoffs. And, of course, Kirk Ferentz goes for number 206. The nightcap is at 7:30.
Thanks so much, Rick. Today's hardest working player, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Bryce Underwood. Most of this was done in the first half.
Yeah, I was going to say, definition of hardest working. He's throwing the ball, he's running the ball, he's avoiding the rush, doing a little bit of everything, checking plays at the line of scrimmage. He's just been everything they expected him and hoped to be to start his career.
Garcia's going to kneel on it. A couple of more of those. And the Michigan Wolverines going to get to 2-1. And their focus of attention will now go to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Week 4, their conference opener. Almost ran for 400 yards rushing today, Jake. I mean, they set the tone and then some. Haynes finished with 104, Underwood with 114. 8 rushing touchdowns, 1 short of the school record.
It's what you expected to see. It's what Michigan hoped to see. And it's what we saw. And, you know, the players talked about it this week when they had media availability. They said, listen, yeah, we lost to Oklahoma. It was frustrating. It was disappointing. They didn't play to their standard. They all agreed. But their goals are still out in front of them. Certainly entering conference play, aside from the 2 games that started today, everyone's 0-0. Playoff berth, yeah, you got 1 loss, but still very much ahead of them. But next week is going to be really, really revealing just to find out what this team is made of, especially on the road where the communication gets harder and the level of opponent is certainly tougher with how good Nebraska's been playing.
Kneels on it with 26 seconds to go. Turnover on downs. So Central Michigan will lean on it one more time. One would think no punts for Michigan today.
Goes over to Central Michigan.
And Bryce Underwood, his coming out party. This was a loud one.
Sure was. Just you can see each week strides being taken, and at this point through 3 games, you know, the body of work, it's if he has a clean picture and if the guys are open and if he has time, his talent will shine. So it's not just on Bryce, it's on Chip. Called a great game today. It's on the other 10 guys. You do your job, and Bryce will take you to some very, very special places.
Really impressive win today for the Michigan Wolverines. Said he was getting more comfortable running the football. He made really, really good decisions today to Bryce Underwood. When to run it, when to throw it. Probably had 2 throws back that he made, an interception on 1. Incomplete pass on the first pass he threw, but it was a great day to be a Wolverine. As they win it 63-3 over Central Michigan today. It improved to 2-1 with conference play on the horizon next week in Lincoln. All right, Brooke Fletcher is downstairs with Biff Poggi.
Coach, how would Sharon Moore rank this win here today?
Sharon Moore, this was a win in his image. And honestly, as I said at halftime, this is just a group of people, especially young men, that love him. And this is a love letter from a bunch of young boys to a grown man. And he would be pretty happy about that. He might be a little upset we didn't get 400 yards rushing, but it's the best we could do.
How did the rushing attack tell the story in the second half?
How what?
The rushing attack. How'd that tell the story in the second half?
Yeah, well, you know, we had a big lead at halftime and wanted to get our running game going, and we did.
Bryce Underwood, what did you learn about him today?
He might actually be Batman. We need to do a DNA test on him because he could be Batman.
Does he have a mask hidden somewhere?
Yes.
Thanks, Coach.
We're going to try and find his mask. Bryce Underwood was awesome today. Almost 400 yards rushing and 8 rushing touchdowns for the Michigan Wolverines. Triple header continues. We'll go up the road to Michigan State. That's all coming up next on the Big Ten Network. For Jake Butt, Brooke Fletcher, and our entire crew, I'm Jeff Levering saying so long from Ann Arbor. We'll go to Oregon next week. Oregon State. Lots more football coming your way on the Big Ten Network today.